Welcome to the Anime Audiophile Podcast. Please like and subscribe for more. Thank you. Naruto Shinden, Parent and Child Day. Chapter 1. Father and daughter racing through Konoha. He didn't go home. Or more precisely, he was heading home for family day, but it was early morning, the sun still rising up into the sky. He had to sleep through until evening once he made it to the house, and the whole day would be wasted. Naruto staggered through the deserted residential area, feeling almost drunk. But he hadn't been drinking, he was just utterly and overwhelmingly exhausted. A large yawn spilled out of his mouth, and tears welled up at the corner of his eyes. How many days had it been since he'd slept? He'd been working so hard lately that the answer was hazy. Simply going over all those documents was a lot of work. Once merchants had found out about the establishment of Family Day, they'd flooded into the Hokage's office with requests to set up stalls and kiosks. Spots had to be secured, security assigned. He only finished up an hour earlier. As Naruto was getting ready to head out at last, Shizen, unable to just stand by and see him in that condition, had offered Naruto a pill to help him stay awake. But the pill smelled like a dirty fish tank, so he politely declined. Thinking about it now, however, maybe he should have simply accepted it instead of being so fussy. Somnolence was serious business. The piles of garbage bags on the sides of the road looked cozily comfortable, perfect for a nap, and Naruto was excessively jealous of a cat he spotted sleeping on top of a wall, looking too content. According to his master, Jiraiya, anything related to the three desires, alcohol, money, women, ruined a ninja. So even if he succumbed to this overpowering desire for sleep, he would still be a respectable ninja. It would be entirely within his rights as a ninja to clap his hands in front of the snoozing cat, startle it into wakefulness, and then gloat, "Gotcha." The lack of maturity of such an act, however, was another issue entirely. As he silently apologized to the cat, his house finally came into view, looking like a 2-layer cake with a bucket on top. Some said it was too modest a residence for the Hokage given that he governed the entire village, but if they built some luxurious mansion that screamed extravagance, his dearly departed master would have taken him to task for drowning in a lust for money. And that sort of house wasn't what Naruto actually wanted, anyway. "I'm home," he said as he opened the door to the house quietly so as not to wake his wife and children, who were likely still asleep. And he didn't have the energy to produce anything louder anyway. However, his utterance of home was louder than he had intended. Or somehow his intended greeting turned into something more like a question, "I'm home? Himawari?" For some reason, his daughter, Himawari, was sleeping in the entryway. "Hima? Hey, you okay?" She was wrapped tightly in a blanket, so he didn't think she collapsed there because she was sick, but he shook her shoulder and her small eyelids lifted slightly. "Oh, Daddy. You're home. What are you doing sleeping here?" Himawari, bleary-eyed from waking up, and Naruto, bleary-eyed from lack of sleep, looked at each other. The answer to both of their questions seemed to be that they were both equally drowsy. Himawari rubbed her eyes, still lost in sleep. A crumpling sound came from her clenched fist. "Oh," she said, a sharp light growing in her eyes. "Daddy, here. By this." A hand extended out from beneath the blanket as she unfolded the ball of paper, a flyer, and pushed it toward him. "Nine Tails, Kurama." Naruto read the enormous round text out loud. In addition to the words, the flyer also featured a photograph of a long, slender egg alongside a cutified illustration of a fox with an abundance of fluffy tails. A fox with many tails given the name Kurama. His mind started to ask the question, but there was something more important at that moment. He looked down at the blanket pooling onto the step into the house. "Did you maybe wait here just so you could show me this?" Himawari nodded. "When she went out yesterday, Mommy said you would be home soon." The innocent words were a hook digging into his heart. It was true, he had told his wife, Hinata, that he'd try to finish up with work and come home the day before so that they could enjoy a leisurely family day together. Sorry. I had all this work. It just never ended. He ran a hand over his closely cropped hair as he made his excuses. And then he frowned. Did your mom go out? He peered into the house above Himawari's head. Second floor, bedroom, living room. He couldn't sense Hinata anywhere. Yesterday morning. She said she was going to Grandpa's. Two people fell into the category of Himawari's grandfather. Naruto's father, Minato, had passed on over 30 years earlier, so the grandpa that Hinata had gone to see was Hyuga Hayashi. She went to Grandpa's? What, again? Hayashi was the head of the Hyuga family. Had she been planning to pop by and see him? Yesterday morning was a whole day ago. She hadn't said anything about being out of the house for so long. Actually, it had been none other than Naruto himself saying he would be home last night. Hinata had merely taken him at his word, which was exactly why she had decided to leave the kids to him. In other words, he had betrayed his wife's trust. I really stepped in it. Naruto slumped down in the entryway, head hanging. Daddy, are you okay? Why are you like Mr. Turtle now? Oh. It's nothing. Really. He staggered to his feet and waved a hand. Are you okay, Himawari? Mom's been gone since yesterday morning, yeah? What did you do for food? Mommy made breakfast and lunch for me. There was no supper, though. Himawari glanced over her shoulder at the second floor. So Boruto made supper for me. He did? Following Himawari's gaze, Naruto also turned his eyes toward Boruto's room. He could hear a faint snoring. That kid. He's really got the big brother thing together, huh? Heh. That right? Boruto cooked? Naruto rubbed the bottom of his nose, trying to hide the grin spreading across his face. What did he make? Himawari hung her head and thought hard for a minute. A fried egg thing and a fried meat thing. Oh, and rice. Yeah. Although she responded not with the name of the dish but the ingredients, he still managed to get the basic idea. The important thing was that Boruto was watching out for his little sister. So it was all good. Probably. Now that he was thinking about it, Naruto could smell something kind of burnt wafting over from the kitchen. He imagined the blackened frying pan and the dirty dishes filling the sink. Well then, your dad here'll figure something out for supper today. For now, though, let me sleep a bit. An inadvertent yawn spilled out of his mouth. You're still tired, too, right, Himawari? You gotta get a real sleep in your futon, not on this hard floor. Okay. How about I carry you to your room? He moved to wrap his arms around his daughter. No. She pushed him back, fierce in her rejection. Huh? Her unexpected reaction threw him for a serious loop. You can't sleep. Himawari brandished the flyer again. The 9 tails. Kurama. Flyer. Let's go buy this right now, okay? Huh. Oh. Naruto was reassured that that was all it was. Got it. But later. I'm totally wiped right now. Later's no good. Look. See here? Himawari pointed to a part of the flyer, special sale. Family day only. A campaign to take advantage of the holiday. Had one of the merchants filling his office come up with this? The sly ways they sniffed out every opportunity to make a sale would make even a ninja user of ocular jutsu click their tongue for shame. See? We can't buy it except for today. There's nothing you can only buy today. If you just hang on until your next birthday, I'll get you a couple toys like that. Or Kawam. A whole mountain of them. Believe it. New. Himawari, rejected again, let loose a scream that echoed piercingly in his sleep-deprived head. He winced. It's just Daddy is. The hand brandishing the flyer started to drop slowly, and his daughter's eyes were sharp as she glared up at him. You never keep your promises. H&GH. The words were a straight punch right in the gut. He desperately wanted to deny it, but sadly, Himawari was right. He promised to take her out more than once, but then when he still had work left on his plate, he'd sent a shadow doppelganger for her. And then the jutsu had come undone and he'd been found out. "TR, trust your dad," he said anyway. "I'll definitely take you out to play later. Okay?" Himawari puffed her cheeks up, sulking, and said nothing in reply. Ah. Naruto stepped out of the entryway with a hoarse laugh and moved toward his own room. 1 step, 2 steps, Himawari's eyes boring into his back the whole time. His steps gradually grew smaller until Naruto stopped at 5. He set his hands on his hips and took a deep breath, face toward the ground. Ah. He slapped his cheeks as hard as he could. "Daddy?" He turned back toward a surprised Himawari and gave a big, winning smile. "I'm just gonna go take a quick shower. You go and get ready, too, okay?" Himawari blinked rapidly. "Okay." She quickly smiled and ran off to her own room upstairs. After hearing the door close, Naruto slapped his cheeks again, this time even harder than before. What the? Standing in front of Masuda Toys, the toy store in the old part of town, Naruto was speechless. Masuda couldn't begin to compare with the larger retailer in the new town in terms of square footage or variety of merchandise. But unlike the larger store, which ordered in toys indiscriminately, Masuda maintained an assortment of goods that never failed to be exactly what children were looking for. If it was the latest video game that was suddenly all the rage, they would throttle back orders when the children started to lose interest. Or else they pivot and focus their sales on some character merchandise everyone else expected to flop, and so they were occasionally the origin of new trends. Masuda was Naruto's preferred purveyor of toys. Not so much because of their sales-savvy and curated lineup, but because more than anything else it was close to the house. Every time he passed by, he would remember Himawari's excitement about the toys or little Boruto's joy at getting any present at all, and his heart would grow warmer. And now Masuda was blocked from sight by a throng of people, all of them pressed up against the store as though they were protesting it for some reason. The majority gathered were housewives Naruto's age and a little older. Strained voices rose up from the crowd. "Hey! Hurry up and open already. How long are you planning on making us wait? What are you going to do if our legs turn to stone standing out here?" "Our legs turn to stone, and we're basically stone puppets, yeah? Are you saying you want to use us for shuriken practice? You know what we call this? A daimyo shop. Duh. Myo. Getting too big for your britches, huh, Masuda?" Incidentally, it was still early morning, before the store's usual business hours. Naruto watched from a distance as he turned to Himawari next to him, her eyes similarly wide. It can't be that everyone here they all came because of that flyer? Probably, yeah. Kurama's super popular right now. Huh, was all Naruto could say in response, overwhelmed by the fiery heat of the housewives. Ladies, please calm down." The plaintive plea reached his ears, clear even in the sea of angry cries. It was the Masuda shop clerk. She stood in front of the shutters, cowering like a rabbit surrounded by a pack of lions. "The store will be opening soon. To avoid crowding inside, please enter the shop one at a time. I'll ask you to form a queue now, so the person at the front dash." "A queue? You've got to be kidding me." "That's right. Can you definitively say who was first or second?" "And no. That's..." The clerk cowered further. "Yeah. Are you going to make things right if some idiot who came along later lines up ahead of me?" "In that case, I'll distribute numbers via a lottery," the clerk suggested. So the person who gets the first dash. A lottery. Ah, don't give us that. My kid's at home, dying to have this thing. Now hurry up and open the store. Right. Open it, came the voices in agreement. Their children had apparently begged them for a Kurama, and so they had all been waiting in front of the shop since daybreak. I guess this is what they mean when they say mothers are strong, he thought, pained or rather, filled with trepidation. He had a vision of the shop clerk being crushed before his eyes by the throng of mothers. So buying the Kurama means slipping past this scary group of moms to get inside the store? What if it was Hinata there instead of him there? Would she shrink before this herd of mothers? The answer came to him right away. Although she was generally a gentle woman, at her core, Hinata was a rock. He had no doubt that she would simply charge in there without a second thought if it was for the sake of their daughter. I didn't think it would be so popular, this Kurama thing. What kind of toy is it exactly? He asked. Himawari gave him an innocent smile. You raised this fox, eh? Nine-Tails Fox Spirit. And the fox's name is Kurama? Yeah. It's super cute, but I heard the real one isn't that cute. Like, his eyes are all buggy. Naruto considered this for a moment. Yeah, that's true maybe. He does have weird eyes. Daddy, you saw the real Kurama? Her eyes opened wide in awe. Just for a sec. It seemed that this Kurama was indeed Kurama. He was pretty sure he remembered seeing a document asking for the right to develop merchandise patterned after Nine-Tails. Kurama, once feared as a catastrophic force, the creature that scarred the village deeply, was now a product, a commodity for people to purchase. A small thorn that had pierced Naruto's heart abruptly dropped away. The hatred and fear that had been directed at Kurama faded, and he felt like he could finally accept the spirit. He had pressed his seal onto this deeply resonant document, but he never dreamed they would turn the fox into a toy for children. At any rate, it seemed his judgment had been correct. Naruto considered the situation carefully while he watched his daughter chatter happily. So, at first, it's in an egg, and you pet it and tap it and cheer it on, and then it comes out of the egg. Are foxes born from eggs? He felt like that wasn't right, but then he wondered. A question mark floated above his head. It's all round and happy if you give it little food pellets to eat. They're called hierogan, and there are a bunch of kinds. If you feed it a red one, then its fur gets darker. This Kurama sure eats adorable things, huh? If you bop it on the head, you can play together, she noted. So you bop it on the head, this Kurama. He imagined his daughter giving the adorable fox from the flyer a hard pop. It was a fairly startling image, but he guessed kids wouldn't be hitting it so fiercely as all that. Even still, a wry smile crossed his face. So it's born from an egg, you get food for it. Dunno. Sounds almost like a baby, this. Kurama. Himawari simply blinked several times, perhaps not really understanding what he was saying. Just when Naruto's grin was fading, he heard a voice that echoed from the depths of his stomach. Hey. Just who are you calling a baby? Kurama, or rather the genuine article, the real Kurama. He sounded extremely dissatisfied, as if he had never expected to be treated like a baby and didn't actually much care for it, even if it was just a fictional character based on the real him. It would be a hassle later on if that sentiment took root. Naruto turned his mind inward to reply, but then one of the Masuda customers suddenly called out to him, and he missed his chance to talk with Kurama. Oh! Just when I was wondering who it was in the back there, if it isn't Naruto. Kiba. Weird to see you here. The voice belonged to a classmate from his academy days, a war buddy who'd stood with him on the line between life and death any number of times before, Inuzuka Kiba. The hair that stuck out every which way when they were kids was now pulled back neatly, giving him a rough look in line with his tapered jaw. Something white moved sluggishly at his feet, the ninja dog Akamaru. He made his way over to Naruto, as if trying to escape from the crowd of clamoring mothers, and then promptly lay down. He was getting close to being a very old dog, and all the commotion was probably annoying. And then a puppy came trotting over from behind, Akamaru, looking very much like Akamaru when he was small. You want to talk weird? I could say the same for you here with your daughter all proper. Sup? You out shopping with your dad today? Himawari was reaching out to pet Akamaru, but when Kiba spoke to her, she nodded and hid behind Naruto. Come on. It's not nice not to say hello. Naruto tried to make her apologize for her rudeness, but Kiba didn't seem to mind at all. Nah, it's fine. Being shy like that, maybe a little scared of new people, she takes after Hinata. But, like, she's gotten a lot bigger, huh? She was just this big the other day. He brought his hands up in front of his chest to indicate a space of about a foot. Okay, look, she was never that small, Naruto said. She's not a puppy. You got no idea, alright? Especially when you see her every day. Kiba laughed cheerfully and then continued. Anyway, we're here. Yours got her eyes on that Kurama, too? Yeah. Himawari begged me. He stroked the hair of the girl still, hiding behind him. And what about you? Don't tell me you got sick of the dogs, so you're trading them in for a fox, yeah? Heh. You gotta be kidding. A friend just asked me to, so. Kiba trailed off. She didn't actually ask me. It's just she saw the flyer and got all carried away by how cute the fox is, so I figured, maybe I could surprise her with one. His eyes darted about, his voice sinking away into nothing. Naruto watched him with surprise. What's that look about? Kiba demanded. It's a surprise for your girlfriend, yeah, he said. That's great, though. With you and Shino both single, and not worries. This has got nothing to do with the old teammate. Huh. So you got a fox-loving girlfriend. Naruto smirked. Let me tell you right now, the other man protested. She's a real hardcore cat lover. Although with cats, I guess it'd be more softcore. Anyway, she's a devoted woman. She just got a little tiny bit tricked by a fox, that's all. He was getting too worked up over nothing, and he quickly regained his composure. But, well, running into you here, I guess our timing's not the greatest. What do you mean? Kurama. Kiba jerked his thumb over his shoulder toward Masuda. I looked into it a bit. Kurama's way too popular. And they're getting 10 today at best, maybe 20 if they're lucky. Well, that's all? Naruto guessed there were nearly 100 people pressed up in front of the shop, meaning only 1 in 10 or so would be able to get a Kurama. I don't want to compete with your kid. But, well, no hard feelings, you know, if only one of us manages to get. The shutters over Masuda's door slowly began to rise, cutting Kiba off. Naruto could see what were likely the manager's fingers in the gap above the ground, and then the shutters were all the way up. Opening time. The earth shook as everyone in front of the shop surged inside as a single being. Oh, crap. They're all getting in before me. Kiba hurriedly pushed his way through the crowd, leaving his beloved dogs behind as he melted into the human tsunami. Jeers and angry cries echoed from inside the small store, and Naruto. He even heard screaming as people got stepped on. It was all out war in there. He swallowed hard and looked down at Himawari for a final check. What'd you think? You gonna wait here? Himawari looked up at him. Her expression had been anxious upon hearing about the low stock, but she was apparently not ready to give up. She shook her head from side to side. Okay. Naruto steeled himself as he took her hand, stepped over the sleeping Akamaru, and went after Kiba. He proceeded past the various doodads crammed together, knocked about by the chaos of customers. Unable to take a real breath in the stuffy room, he was very likely to lose Himawari's hand if he dropped his guard for even an instant. Sorry. Could you let me through here? He headed further into the store, carving out a path between people with his shoulders. He had no idea where the Kurama would be in the midst of all this confusion, but he guessed they would probably be near the cash register. Several of the customers noticed Naruto and cried out, "Lord Hokage! Lord Seventh?" He had no time to respond, however, and merely cut through them with a knife hand instead of bowing in greeting. Coming through. Ow, oh. You just hit me with an elbow. Don't worry about it, HM. You waited all night? What a coincidence. I was up all night, too. I was. For some reason, more than one person in the crowd complained to him about the chaos, and he answered each of them rather noncommittally. When he finally managed to reach the cash register, there was a sign that read Family Day Only. Limited time special, just as he'd expected. There it is. He grabbed a long, slender egg, quickly bought it, and then slid away from the register area, going against the tide of people. When Naruto once again crossed the threshold to the outside world, Akamaru wagged his tail in greeting, as if to congratulate him on a job well done. Naruto finally took a deep breath while the joy of victory coursed through his veins. Yes. He held the bag in his hand high in the air. A ton of people in there, but we managed to get this thing. He exchanged a grin with Himawari, who was clinging to his back. Her hair was a mess, likely because of that vortex of chaos they passed through together, and beads of sweat popped up on her forehead. Kiba came out of Masuda while Naruto was tidying Himawari's hair, his shoulders slumped in disappointment. Damn it. They're sold out. Other dejected customers followed him out and trudged away. You didn't get one? Naruto raised an eyebrow. But you got in there before we did. I didn't know where they were. Kiba shrugged. And with so many people in there, my nose wasn't any help. Dang. Ah, well, you can't use your nose to look for toys, anyway. Naruto rolled his eyes. Daddy? Himawari tugged on his sleeve. She was staring at the bag with the egg in it anxiously. A wry smile on his face, he handed her the bag. Beaten down by a human tsunami after several all-nighters in a row, every muscle in his body was crying out in exhaustion. But it was all worth it if he got to see his daughter's happy face. However, the look on her face as she pulled the egg from the bag was not what he'd been expecting. Kiba peered at her hand and furrowed his brow. Hey, Naruto? Naruto also dropped his gaze. And then doubted his eyes. One tail. Shukaku? Instead of the adorable fox with its many bushy tails, there was a portly, plump tanuki with a round tail drawn on the egg. It's not Kurama? It's a copycat product made in Sunagakure, you know? You raise a one tail instead of 9 tails, Kiba explained, but Naruto wasn't listening. He hurried back into the store and ran down the aisle, an easy feat now that most of the customers had departed. Stunned, he stared at the cash register. The sign hanging there was the Family Day Only. Limited time special that Naruto had seen. But below it, beside a basket that said Smash Hit, 9 tails. Kurama was another basket that suggested, how about a tanuki, too? 2 baskets. The Shukaku eggs were still piled high, clearly not the most popular item of the day. Naruto said to the clerk at the register, turning his eyes toward the Kurama basket, which didn't have so much as a motive. Dust in it. So I guess, you don't have any Kurama? The clerk shook her head, a profoundly apologetic look on her face. He made his way back outside on weak legs, and Himawari burst into tears. Her small shoulders shook hard, and the 2 ninja dogs paced anxiously around her. Okay, listen. Once the fad is over, it'll be a piece of cake to get a toy like that. Kiba nervously tried to comfort Naruto's daughter. Your birthday's still a ways off, yeah? By then, you'll be able to get one of those foxes so easy it'll make this whole thing now a joke. Aw, for real. Absolutely. Kiba. And your dad's the Hokage, yeah? That's such a huge deal that even someone like me couldn't be Hokage. Your dad goes and talks to someone, and any toy you won't be. Kiba, Naruto interrupted. That's enough. Believe it. You say that. But you... Kiba looked from the sobbing Himawari to Naruto and back again. His meaning was crystal clear. What are you going to do about this kid now? Himawari, Naruto murmured as he put a hand on her shaking shoulders. Sorry. I should have double-checked. I was just in a panic. The small hands that had been wiping tears away stopped suddenly to reveal eyes that were swollen and bright red from crying. Naruto didn't look away, but instead carefully held her gaze. I'll get one. What? Himawari asked in reply. A Kurama, he said. And I'm not talking about next time here. No way. I'll get one today. Believe it. She hung her head for a moment, but finally nodded and rubbed her eyes before flashing him a shy smile. Naruto figured that was enough. Just so long as she wasn't crying. What you want to do? You're not actually going to exercise your Hokage privileges, are you? Naruto laughed off Kiba's question. I don't have any privileges that are that convenient. They started sales on Family Day, so that must mean they ramped production just for today. I'll just use my shadow doppelgangers to go around to every single store. Shadow doppelgangers, huh? Kiba snorted. You stink like you're exhausted after a mission. You still got enough in you for doppelgangers? I'm just sleep-deprived is all. Or of multiple shadow clones. White smoke puffed up around them as Naruto wove the signs to produce 2 clones. Several hundreds of what he usually managed. He froze, fingers still crossed, and broke into a cold sweat. There's just 2 of them. You said multiple. You're making me roll my eyes over here. Kiba flicked each doppelganger on the forehead. There was a shredding sound, and then they vanished. Oh! Naruto cried. Idiot. Doppelgangers aren't gonna do you any good. Today's basically a festival. All that's gonna happen is they'll get knocked around by the crowd and disappear. That's it, Kiba asserted. How about I give you a hand? My nose doesn't work in the shops either, but I can pick up on the Kurama. I just need to find the scent trail of the red earth and dandelions used in the ink, and it'll all be good. When he saw that Naruto was baffled by the sudden proposal, Kiba said, Don't get the wrong idea. I don't care either way if your stock goes down, but I'm not gonna sleep too good after the girl cried on us like that. I know I said no hard feelings before, but it's like, when she's crying like that, it's a little... He scratched his cheek awkwardly. Listen. I'll go look in the new town. You take the old town. If you find Kurama first, then get into sage mode and come on. In your condition, that's probably a no-go. Well, I'll come join you when I feel like it. Don't go anywhere with extra weird smells. Okay. Naruto nodded. Alright. Come on, guys. Kiba headed toward Hokage Rock, Akamaru and Akamaru trailing behind him. Naruto watched until he disappeared into the thronging crowd and then crouched down, back turned toward Himawari. Okay. Should we get going, too? Yeah. She scrambled eagerly onto his back. It was just like Kiba said, kids grew up way faster than their parents realized. He was sure she'd been lighter the last time he'd given her a piggyback, another thing you don't notice when you see each other every day. But did Kiba's words really apply to Naruto now? Lately, he barely saw Himawari every other day. No. He had to do what he could for her now, not just look back on the past. With resolve in his heart, Naruto started to run. You got any 9 tails? Kurama? Naruto yelled as he flew into the first place he saw, the 24-hour general store. The sales clerk gaped at the sudden appearance of the 7th Hokage. Oh! Daddy, over there. There's lots of them. Really? He turned his eyes to a shelf by the cash register. And indeed, he saw eggs that looked like the real thing on display. They're all shukaku, huh? They are. The clerk nodded. As far as he could see, each and every one of them was a tanuki. He actually felt a little bad for the toy, which was clearly not selling at all. And why were so many Sunagakure toys being sold in Konohagakure to begin with? He was starting to suspect that the things hadn't sold at all in the other village and now were being passed along to his town. Might be funny to buy a bunch and send him to Gaara, he mused. Gaara, his daughter asked. A friend in Sunagakure. When we were kids, he was always with Shukaku. When he and Shukaku got separated, it was a whole thing in and of itself. Was he lonely after the tanuki was gone? Himawari wondered. He must have really loved it. Nah, not quite. Okay. Next store. With the same force that he had entered the shop with, Naruto dashed out of the general store. Kurama? That toy that's all the rage lately? Nope, don't have it. Actually, let me ask you, did you really think we'd have it? As you can well see, this is a flower shop. He'd gone into Yamanaka Flowers along the way because he had nothing to lose by giving it a try. The shop was run by Yamanaka Ino, one of his classmates from the academy, and while flowers of all hues and colors greeted them, there was not a single toy in sight. Yeah, I guess not. Naruto sighed. What's Sai up to, anyway? He's out with Inogen. I can give him a message if you needed something. Nah, it's nothing like that. Sorry to bug you at work. Naruto waved a hand. It's fine. Oh, Naruto. Wait. Hang on. Ino stopped him and pulled out one of the many flowers lining the walls. Here, for you, Himawari. She handed Himawari a sunflower Himawari in full bloom. Wow! Thanks, Auntie, she responded joyfully. She'd been shy with Kiba, but perhaps the gift of a flower bearing her own name helped her to let her guard down now. Ooh, calling me Auntie. Maybe I'll just give you one more as a bonus. And another sunflower did indeed join its companion in Himawari's hand. The girl was even more thrilled, and she waved enthusiastically as Ino saw them off. I know you just got them and all, but you can't hang on to your old dad if you've got those flowers in your hands. How about we drop by the house first and leave them there? Naruto suggested. What? No. I'll carry them. If I poke him in here, they won't be in the way. The hair that she selected was the collar of his shirt. SKRTCH, SKRTCH. He felt the stems rub against his back. Oh, yeah? He turned his gaze toward the show window next to them and saw his own self reflected back, sunflowers sticking up off his head like antennas. Quite the lively fashion. You think they suit me? He asked Himawari. She laughed in return. They're perfect. Ha 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 ha. Naruto laughed, slightly embarrassed. The wee ones these days. It's all beep boop beep boop. They're obsessed with their beep booping. Don't have the time of day for the old games, the old lady groaned, a difficult look on her face. She'd been running the ancient sweet shop for too long to remember, wrinkled since Naruto was a kid, and that hadn't changed now, she was still covered in wrinkles. Entranced by the candies, Himawari cocked her head to one side, lips covered with Kanako's sweet powder. What's a beep boop? Boruto plays with one during supper, Naruto said. A beep boop. That's what she's talking about. Believe it. That's not a beep boop, the old lady argued. That's the star of hope for the next generation of toys, the Light scroll. It's different? So then, what's a beep boop? A beep beep's a beep boop. You get a title and put on these airs, but you can't even tell a beep boop from a lightning scroll. That's a sad state, the old woman grumbled as she pulled a package off a shelf. Now then, I suppose you're looking for that Kurama or whatever it is. You got any? Naruto's heart thumped hard in his chest. Nope. Unfortunately, there are none here. None of that, but I got something even better. The old lady assumed an air of importance and then pulled out the contents of the package. Origami. He was speechless. What's that look for? This is much more fun than any beep boop or what have you. Himawari. He turned to his daughter. Let's get your mouth cleaned up there. She nodded. Ah, the woman cried. Leave it. Quit that. Don't use that to wipe the wee one's mouth. It's not a napkin, you know. Now listen. Get folding. Hurry up and fold. We're actually in a hurry. Well, I guess it can't hurt. He folded the paper, getting instruction from the old lady as he went. Maybe because it was the first time he'd done origami in a while, he managed to have a decent amount of fun. And Himawari also seemed pleased with the shuriken he made out of silver paper, so he strung it onto a hemp cord and hung it from her neck. He never did find out what a beep boop was. Naruto turned half an eye into the ninja tool shop, Ninja Tools Tenten. The owner, Tenten, was leaning back in her chair, arms hanging. She was extremely lazy. Can't sell a dying thing. And after I went and got some family-type kunai in stock just for the holiday. Haven't sold a single one. What exactly are family-type kunai, anyway? Naruto asked. Tenten waved a hand in the general direction of the showcase, still half lying down. Tucked away inside were uniquely shaped kunai, each with a different blade at the end of its hilt. One was long and slender, while the other had a roundness to it like a pen nib and although short, glittered sharply at the tip. How's that got anything to do with family? He raised a doubtful eyebrow. The long blade's the parent, and the short one's the kid, she explained. See? Looks like a parent with their child, right? Bit of stretch, don't you think? Naruto commented. Anyway, you got this toy, Nine-Tails Kurama? Tenten's swaying stopped abruptly. That's the 4th time I've gotten that question today. So is that what's going on? You all telling me this tool shop's behind the times? That I should close up and open a toy store already? You think so, too, Lord Seventh? That's why you asked, isn't it? The shop's a loser, so I better get a side hustle going with toys? Is that what you're trying to tell me? I don't think that, and I'm not saying that. Believe it, Naruto denied the charge weakly. It's true, this place isn't popular. At all. The neighborhood kids just use the place for their little games of chicken. They say I got a huge gourd in here that speaks in a human voice. Plus, I'm way overstocked on ironware, so people come and complain that the magnetic field's wonky around here. If I could just sell wholesale to the police or the academy, I'd have sold all this stuff ages ago. But no, they all take those contracts somewhere else. Daddy, why's that lady crying? Himawari asked. Naruto paused. I guess 'cause we're at peace maybe. But that's a good thing, right? Sure is. Naruto decided to buy some earrings that caught his eye. Miniature kunai dangled from the ends of the clips, just big enough to sit on his fingertip. By the time he was paying for them, Tenten was back to her old self, customer service smile plastered on her face. What about picking these up at the same time? She pointed again to the family-type kunai. Naruto burst out laughing at the power of her mercenary spirit and the speed at which she switched gears. Together with Himawari, he ran around to each and every store in the old town, but they didn't encounter a single Kurama egg. And now the sun was sinking in the sky. Naruto gritted his teeth. After all, he had the real Kurama inside of him, and yet his only hope now was Kiba off in the new town. "Hey, Naruto." He heard Kiba's voice from above and looked up to see the man on the roof of the restaurant next to him. "I found it," Kiba shouted. "A real Kurama this time." "As seriously?" Naruto shouted back. Kiba kicked at the sign and dropped down to the ground before turning toward Himawari and popping a thumb up. Everywhere was sold out, but there was just one left at the shop at the train station. In the souvenir shop on the platform for long-distance trains to other villages. Unlike Konoha, the other villages are not particularly interested in Kurama. "But are you sure?" Naruto asked, hesitantly. "You want to give one to your fox-loving girlfriend, yeah?" "She doesn't love foxes. She likes cats. And anyway, I didn't tell her I was going to get her one, so no harm no foul, basically." Kiba shrugged. "Huh." Naruto smiled. "All right." Himawari. "Yeah. Thanks, Uncle Dog Man." Himawari grinned, too. "Heh. It's all good." Kiba flashed a smile, not at all put off by the title she gave him. "I got Akamaru to carry it, so she'll be here so. Speak of the devil." He turned just as Akamaru and Akamaru appeared together from the sea of people. "There you go." The eagerly awaited Thunder Burger. Kiba thrust a hand into the paper bag. "Normally, I don't feed him junk food, but this burger's got no additives. My dogs just love him. Hey. This is a Thunder Burger bag? What happened to Kurama? TCH. There's even the change in here." "Hey, Kiba," Naruto muttered, uneasily. "Over there." A man in a hood was hurrying away from the scene, back through the crowd the dogs had just come out of. In his hand was a paper bag with a train symbol printed on it. "Oi. No way." Kiba yelped. "You're kidding me? Someone switched bags on you? Akamaru? Damn it. It's 'cause I haven't fed you since." "The more Kiba." Naruto took Himawari off his back and thrust her toward Kiba, along with all the things they were carrying. "Hang on to Himawari." "Hang on to her?" Kiba gaped at the Hokage. "Hey." Naruto shot after the man in the crowd. Catching sight of this, the man abruptly quickened his pace, nimbly dancing past the throngs. This, added to the fact that he had tricked Akamaru, no matter how hungry the dog might have been, sealed it for Naruto. This guy was a ninja. "Hey!" Naruto yelled. "Hold it right there." There wasn't a ninja in Konoha he didn't know, and the man had to have been aware of this. He pulled his hood tighter around his face to keep from being seen and started to run, indifferent to the people he bashed into in his haste. H&GH. Naruto simply couldn't be as rough with the people of Konoha, and he felt compelled to stop and help passersby back to their feet as he gave chase. The man gradually pulled away from him. This day, he hadn't been able to do anything for Himawari. In the end, he'd done nothing but get her hopes up and then dash them to the ground. Kiba had been the one to get a hold of the Kurama the man ahead was making off with. Naruto had to at least get the thing back. But not only had he not slept in who knew how long, he'd spent the day running around Konoha, meaning his stamina and chakra were both at rock bottom. Even if he tried a teleportation jutsu, it would probably get him nowhere, just like the doppelgangers that morning. I don't want to make a huge commotion in the middle of the village, but desperate times. Kurama. Naruto turned his mind inward and spoke to Nine Tails. "Sorry, but could you help me out here?" "Oi, Kurama?" "I don't want to," came the somewhat petulant reply. "Why not? It's your fault for calling me a baby. And Shikaku? Of all things, that you would mistake me for that Tanuki." And now you're talking to me in that tone? No, no, I'm not trying to. I'm in a serious fix here. Himawari's. All the more reason. What? What I'm saying is, you can't rely on me. You have to work this out yourself. If you're not going to go all out for your daughter, then when will you? Idiot. Naruto couldn't say anything to that. Heh. He brought his mind back to reality. Yeah, I guess he's got a point. He already knew that Kurama was right. He had to get that Kurama with his own strength. It was just a battle of willpower and stamina now. He ran intently after the man as he wondered, how far have I run anyway? The man slowed when he turned into a deserted alley. It seemed less like his strength was giving out and more like he was resigning himself to his fate somehow, as though he couldn't allow himself to flee any further. Gotcha! Naruto shouted and leaped at the man's back. He pushed him down onto the road and quickly peeled back the hood. Just as he'd expected, the man was a Konoha Genin, one who Naruto had ordered to look into things in the borderlands. Pinned to the ground, the man gritted his teeth and intently avoided Naruto's eyes. The man had never caused any trouble before. So why was he getting his hands dirty with petty theft? Daddy? Naruto heard a child's voice, and a boy tottered out from the alley. Why are you out here? It's okay. I'm okay, so just wait inside. The man's voice was shaking. Naruto quickly understood the relationship between the pair from the agitation in the man's voice. There didn't seem to be any need to hold him down, so he released the man on the ground. What's going on here? The answer came not from the man, but from behind Naruto. Looks like he wanted to get a Kurama for his kid no matter what he had to do. Just like you. It was Kiba. When had he caught up? Beside him, Himawari sat across Akamaru's back. Naruto turned back to the man before him, gaze probing him for the truth of this. My sincerest apologies. The man sat up and pressed his forehead to the ground. My son wanted one so desperately, so all I could think about was how to get it. I looked everywhere, but I couldn't find any. And then just as the sun was setting, I heard Kiba. Something just came over me. Sobbing, the man explained that he was always away from the village patrolling the edges of the country. And then finally, he had a day off. When he saw his son for the first time in far too long, the boy had timidly pleaded for a nine-tails Kurama. Naruto listened silently to the man's story. He had only wanted to make his child happy, and Naruto understood that feeling painfully well. But he had crossed a line that should never have been crossed. He had to be punished for the crime of theft, and in front of his son, of all things. Maybe he should at least send the boy away before he did anything. While he was wrestling with this, Himawari slid down from Akamaru's back, picked up the paper bag with the Kurama in it, and handed it to the man. Here. This is yours, right, mister? You shouldn't drop it. What? A question mark popped up above the man's head. Himawari? Naruto wore his own question mark. She looked back at him with a faint smile just like her mother's, as if she had seen through to the heart of everything. This man was just trying to bring the Kurama he bought to his son. Right, Daddy? Naruto understood what his daughter was getting at quickly enough. Oh. Yeah. He understood, but... Are you sure, though? I know you wanted one, too, Himawari. Pretty bad. It's okay. I have this. She pulled out the shukaku Naruto had bought by mistake. It's a special present from you. I love it. And then she gently stroked the silver paper shuriken hanging around her neck. You're always so busy, Daddy. You never play with me. But today, we got to spend the whole day going to all these different places. It was super fun. I have too many treasures now. I can't carry any more. Hima. Naruto's face relaxed as the faint smile on her face was replaced with an innocent grin that showed her age. Whoa, whoa. If this little girl doesn't want it, Kiba started to reach out, but Akamaru and Akamara both snapped at him, and he quickly yanked the hand back. Ouch. Even still, he was smiling. Naruto grew serious again, crouched down, and brought his face close to the man, who was still on his knees. We're good on the Kurama thing, he declared, quietly. But the way you were pushing around the people of the village, I can't actually let that slide. I know. He hung his head in dejection. As of today, you were released from your mission to investigate the borderlands, Naruto said. He closed his eyes tightly, shaking in despair. The Hokage placed a hand on his shoulder before continuing. Starting tomorrow, you're on guard at the gate. I'll tell Shikamaru. It's the biggest landmark in Konoha, after Hokage Rock. So you better take good care of it. Believe it. Is this a demotion then? Oh. No, please excuse me. I will carry out my duty to the utmost of my abilities. Listening to the man's humble words, Kiba snorted with laughter. Idiot. It means you don't gotta be away from the village anymore. Take good care of that son of yours. Oh. Tears welled up in the corners of the man's eyes again. Thank you so much. So. Naruto pressed on his joints, stiff from a full day of being worked like a slave, as he slowly stood up. Okay. How about we head home? Boruto. Supper. Daddy bought hamburgers. It's already nighttime. How long are you gonna sleep? Himawari yelled for her older brother from the bottom of the stairs. Boruto's sleepy voice came in response, and then there was the sound of the front door opening. Oh. Mommy. You're home. Yeah, he did come home. On my ears? Hee hee. Pretty great, huh? Daddy bought them for me. And this, too. And this. And this. It appeared that Hinata was home. For the first time in a long time, they would be able to have supper together as a family. As he dozed on the sofa in the living room, Naruto turned his ears toward Himawari's excited voice. Normally, he slept away his days off, but he'd spent this one in a flurry of sorts. He hadn't been able to rest at all, but if anyone asked if he was unhappy about that, he would have smiled and said no. It was absolutely the right way to spend family day. So you're home? Naruto's eyes flew open. He had apparently fallen asleep at some point and hadn't realized that Boruto was right beside him. The look on his face was sulky in the extreme. Guessing the reason for that, Naruto turned to face his son. Sorry about yesterday. It's fine. Whatever, Boruto snorted, annoyed, hands clasped behind his head. So then he wasn't mad that Naruto hadn't been able to make it home. Which meant he was just in a bad mood because he spent the whole day sleeping? Or maybe... Naruto turned his mind toward the entryway. Himawari was still showing Hinata the various presents the day had brought her. You wanted to hang out today, too? Naruto asked. What dash? Boruto threw his head back in shock. Why would I want that? I just wanted to complain 'cause the hamburgers you brought back are so teeny. The bag's not empty yet, though. Naruto pointed at the Thunder Burger bag on the desk. Boruto glanced over at it and stiffened up. He flapped his mouth open and closed like a goldfish, looking for some other excuse. And then Naruto noticed that he had something in his hand, a flyer, although it was mostly hidden behind his head, so he couldn't make out the details. The page was crumpled, just like with Himawari that morning, but Naruto could just barely make out the name of the shop, Ninja Tools Tenten. Smiling wryly so as not to show that he guessed what was going on, Naruto put a hand in his pocket. You'd probably rather have a video game, but lightning scroll, was it? I don't really get that stuff, though. He pulled out a long, slender package and offered it to Boruto. What? His son raised an eyebrow. What's this? It's a present. Believe it. I figured hamburgers alone weren't quite enough. Huh? Cocking his head to one side, Boruto opened the package. A kunai with blades at both ends of the hilt glittered, brand new. This. A grin began to spread across his face, but he quickly pursed his lips to maintain his sulk. He crumpled the kunai's packaging and whirled around. But as he was leaving the room, Naruto heard him whisper thanks in the smallest voice. Yup. His own voice in reply was also small. He shot another red grin after his complicated son before he settled back down on the sofa. There was someone else he had to speak with. So? Hey. Come on, stop grumping already. I picked Shikaku cause of a bit of a mix-up. Believe it. How long are you gonna pout? I'm absolutely fox over Tanuki, you know. I mean, I get the Kitsun fried tofu on my ramen and everything. Fox ramen, right? So, are you listening? Hey. I said, hey. Kurama? Kurama. End of chapter 1. Thank you for listening. Remember to like and subscribe for lots more.